So welcome back to our channel, Sans Global Immigration. So whether you are a Canadian citizen or a PR, bringing your spouse to Canada can be a complicated, complex process. So today I'm here to guide you through the complete process of spousal sponsorship application. And yes, I will try my best to explain you all the concepts and everything that is possible. And still, if you have any doubts regarding the process or any questions, you can definitely go ahead and comment your questions or your queries. And I'll definitely try to get back and answer those queries as soon as possible. So for those who are watching my channel for the first time, I am Neha Bhalla, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. That is, I'm licensed to give you advice, to file applications on your behalf as a licensed representative. And yes, our company Sans Global Immigration, it provides all immigration related services. So if you want to contact us, you can contact on this number to us. So these are the topics which I'm going to discuss with you in today's spousal sponsorship discussion. So basically, first is the eligibility. So here we'll talk about whether you are eligible to bring your spouse, your partner to Canada or not. So it all depends upon you, your eligibility. So next we'll discuss the reasons in case you cannot sponsor your spouse. So we'll discuss the points. If any of those points applies to you, then in that case you are not eligible to sponsor the spouse. And then we're going to discuss about the 5-year sponsorship bar. This only applies to those who had previous marriage. So if you didn't have any previous marriage, this is your first marriage, then this point doesn't apply to you at all. And then we're also going to talk about the inland and outland sponsorship, where when you want to sponsor your spouse, so you can do it by either inland sponsorship or an outland sponsorship, which depends upon where your partner is residing. So we'll just discuss this in detail. And one of the most common question which comes up to me is that when the sponsorship is in process, PR decisions is taking time, so whether my partner can work or study during that time or not. So we'll discuss that. In the end, I'll also share with you some important CIC website links, that will help you prepare for your spousal sponsorship application in case you decide to file your application on your own, or you have some doubts, before filing the application. So you can go through those links. That will definitely be helpful to you. And yes, we'll also discuss about the document checklist. I'll show you the complete document list, which we generally give to our clients, that what all documents are required from them. And also we're going to discuss about the fees for this application and also what are the current processing timing. So now let's talk about the eligibility. So as you can see here, these are the points which shows whether you are eligible to sponsor or not. So first is at least 18. You should be at least 18 years of age to sponsor anyone. The next point is you should be a citizen of Canada or a permanent resident of Canada. The third point is that you should be living in Canada. This is more important if you are a permanent resident. If you are a permanent resident, there is no exception. You should be residing in Canada while you apply for the spousal sponsorship. But if you are a citizen, so there is an exception. You can apply while you are residing outside. You can apply the spousal sponsorship. But you have to give a proof. You have to somehow prove that after the spousal sponsorship gets approved, you along with your spouse will move back to Canada. So you have to prove your intentions that you will settle in Canada. And the fourth point is you should not be receiving any social assistance from the government other than disability. So if you are planning in future to apply for the spousal sponsorship, so please keep this in mind that don't go for any kind of social assistance. Yes, other than disability. Disability is an exception. And yes, one more thing here in case we are talking about social assistance. So the employment insurance, if you're getting any maternity benefits or sickness benefits, that are not counted as social assistance. So if you are on maternity benefits, then definitely you can go ahead and apply spousal sponsorship. No issues in that. And yes, one more important thing that many people ask about is funds requirement. So, for spousal sponsorship application, there is no such MNI, no such minimum income requirement that, okay, this is the limit, this should at least be there. So there is no such income criteria, minimum income criteria that you should meet. But, the income and the fund should be sufficient basically, which could show that, okay, yes, you could easily support yourself and your spouse when she or he comes to Canada. Now let's talk about the cases wherein you cannot sponsor your spouse. So these are certain exceptions. If any point applies to you, in that case you will not be able to, sponsor your spouse. So yes, as you can see here, the first one is like you have sponsored any previous partner. So earlier you were married, you sponsored someone and 3 years have not passed, then you cannot sponsor a new spouse, right? The second one is like you previously sponsored someone and then maybe you got a divorce or something and your partner took a social assistance and did not pay back. So even they were at default, but you cannot sponsor. And then yes, if you are in default of some immigration loan or a bond, and then the next one is any if the court has ordered you any like child alimony or child support and you're not paying that, so maybe a bankruptcy case or you were convicted of any crime, in that case also you will not be able to sponsor your spouse. And one case is when you yourself were being sponsored by someone else and now 5 years have not passed till then, in that case also you will not be able to sponsor a new spouse. Or you are under some removal order, or you are in a jail or a prison, or you have already applied an application to sponsor your spouse and have not received any decision on that yet. So in that case also you will not be able to do a new application. Now talking about the 5-year sponsorship bar, this applies only if you were previously married. So what happens is, what is a 5-year sponsorship bar is, suppose you came to Canada. How did you came to Canada was like you were being sponsored by your spouse. Someone else sponsored you as a spouse to come to Canada, right? And now 5 years have not passed since you have become a permanent resident on the basis of spousal sponsorship by someone else. So till the time that 5 year passes, you cannot go ahead and sponsor someone. So at least 5 years should have passed from the time you became a PR. Then only you can go ahead and sponsor a new spouse. So yes, next let's talk about the inland application or the outland application, and which application is more suitable in your case and which one you should choose and how you should choose basically. So in Canada application is also known as in Canada class applications, and outland applications are known as under family class applications. So the basic difference basically depends upon where the applicant where your spouse is residing, whom you want to sponsor. So suppose your spouse is residing in Canada only with you, right? Maybe on a visit status, maybe your spouse is on a work permit, or maybe your spouse is on a study basis, right? But your spouse is inside Canada and also should be residing with you. In that case, you can apply your application under in Canada class. But the exception is, see, if your spouse is residing in some other province and you are residing in some other province and not residing together due to work or study criterias, right? In that case, it's not recommended that you apply under in Canada class application, because you have to give proofs that you both are residing together if you are applying under in Canada class. So if you're not residing together, then go for family class application even though your spouse is inside Canada. Yes, the second exception is that that suppose your spouse is residing in Canada, even residing with you, both are staying together, but that your spouse, when the spousal sponsorship process will go on, yes, it will take time, can take 7 months, 8 months. When the process is going on, during that period, your spouse will not reside in Canada. She or he might have to go to home country or somewhere else. Basically outside Canada they have to go, and they cannot be inside Canada at the time of process. Then also it is recommended to apply under family class and not under in Canada class. So family class application, that is the outland application, is in that scenario where your spouse is not inside Canada, your spouse does not have any visit visa, work permit, study basis, so they are residing outside Canada, they are not inside Canada. In that case, you can apply their application under the family class. And yes, now let's talk about the document checklist, that what all documents you basically require to get your spouse to Canada. So first here is the sponsor status in Canada. So now, as per the eligibility, you can only sponsor your spouse if you are a Canadian citizen or a PR of Canada. So you have to prove this in your documents that you are either a citizen or a permanent resident. So if you're a citizen, you can give the copy of your Canadian passport, that is enough. And if you are a Canadian PR, then you can give the copy of your PR or the COPR copy. Or also, if your PR card is expired, you can give her the copy of expired PR card. That is also well acceptable. Then next, talking about the sponsor employment or source of income, it's important. There is no minimum income criteria as such, but yes, it is important to show that yes, you have funds, you have income, that you can easily support yourself and your spouse in Canada. So what you require are, the employment documents. Your job offer letter from your employer is helpful. And what else you can give is, you can give your pay slips, recent salary slips. You can give your bank statements for last few months. What else you can give is the tax documents, that is your recent notice of assessments, option C. These are the documents required for the principal applicant, that is the passport copy, their status document. So status document for your spouse is only required in case you are filing under inland application and they are residing in Canada. So you have to give a proof that on what status they are inside Canada, visitor status or a study permit or a work permit, right? And then we require their birth certificate, their national identity cards, which is Aadhaar in case of India. And like similar, every country has their own national identity documents. So, and next we require the marriage proof, which is a marriage certificate. That's a very important document in this situation. Then we require PCC, police clearance certificates. That is not required for you. That is only required for your spouse whom you are sponsoring to Canada. Then we require their digital photo. So digital photo has particular specifications, that this must be the dimensions and all. So you must provide the digital photo as per the specifications only. Then medical examination. Some people get confused whether medicals is required before or later. So it's not a temporary residence application. It's a spousal sponsorship application. In this, you do not require any upfront medicals. Medicals are to be done only when requested by IRCC. Next is the relationship proof documents. These documents are the most important documents, because the majority spousal sponsorship applications which get rejected, why they are rejected? They are getting rejected due to the reason that relationship not genuine. So in case you are not able to convince the visa officer that your relationship is genuine, they decline the application on this grounds. So it's very important to show that your relationship is genuine. So the relationship proofs are different in case you are applying for inland sponsorship, and they're different in case you are applying for the outland sponsorship. And also there are some mandatory relationship documents which are required in case your marriage is less than 2 years old. So these are the documents required if you are living together, right? So it may be like joint ownership of residential property, joint lease agreement, rental agreements, and then your joint utility accounts, bank accounts, your vehicle insurance, any government issued IDs which show the same address for you, your driving license and your spouse driving license showing the same address. So these are in Canada documentations. And if you are not living together and you are applying for the family class sponsorship application, then you require different documents. So the document for those are these. So basically what you require is proof of contact and proof that you visited each other. So for these relationship proofs, I have made another video in detail. So here is the link for that. You can also go and watch that video also for if you want to watch specifically relationship proofs in detail. But yes, here also I'm telling you in brief what all documentations are required. So the proofs, if you are not living together as we were talking about. So proof of contact, yes. See, proof of contacts requires your WhatsApp chats, any social media conversations you have, any text messages or emails you have. So all such, a compilation of all such messages. You can show proofs that you visited your spouse, maybe your airline tickets, your boarding passes, your passport stamps, entry exit stamps that you visited that country, any hotel, Airbnb reservations. So you can show such proofs that you visited your spouse. And yes, if your marriage is less than 2 years, then you need to give these extra proofs also. So one mandatory proof is the photographs. The wedding photographs, the ceremony photographs, any other photographs, maybe you went on a trip. So those photographs, any before marriage photographs you have. And not only you, but you should have photographs along with the family members also, along with your friends also, which justifies that your relationship is known to your parents, to your relatives, to your friends also. And other documents which could help also, like your social media pictures. You can show the screenshot of your Instagram, Facebook, that yes, your status is married and you have posted pictures together on the social media. Okay, so now talking about how to apply for this application. So I have posted the link of the site, that is the permanent residency portal. So you can go there, you can make your account and you can file for the spousal sponsorship application. But yes, if you think you won't be able to do that, or if any complication arises, you can definitely get back to us. You can connect to us on the below WhatsApp number. And yes, we definitely take spousal sponsorship cases and will help you out with the complete spousal sponsorship application. And talking about the spousal sponsorship fee, the government fees for spousal sponsorship is 1,080 Canadian dollars, and the biometric fees is 85 Canadian dollars, as you can see. So this is the complete fees that you have to pay for sponsoring your spouse. And yes, talking about the processing timings, I can show you what are the current processing timings. As per the IRCC website, it's different for outland and different for inland. Inland spousal sponsorship is taking a little lesser than the outland spousal sponsorship. It is showing generally around 14 to 16 months. But we have seen applications as we do regular file spousal sponsorship applications. So we have applications getting results within like 5 to 6 months also. So I hope my video was helpful and it cleared some of your doubts. But if you still have doubt and if you want to talk directly to me one-on-one, then there's a link posted. That's a consultation booking link. So you can book a consultation with me. That will be a one-to-one Google Meet session or a phone call session, as you prefer. So thereon we can discuss completely in detail with you whatever your queries or doubts are. And if you have any other general queries, you can definitely post a comment and I'll try to definitely get back to you as soon as possible. And yes, you can WhatsApp us on the below number for if you want to proceed your spousal sponsorship applications to us. Thank you so much.